Well, hello friends, it's Kathleen. Thanks for stopping by. As you may know, I usually post about thrifting and style here on my channel, but I am also an illustrator, and sometimes I get the hankering to make something a little more hands-on, a little more artsy, so that's what we're going to be doing today. Right off the bat, I gotta tell ya, fashion has always inspired my illustration work, and I was super inspired by some of the pieces that were on display at the Met Gala earlier this month. So I thought it might be fun to do some style sketches featuring a few of my favorite looks from the night. Care to join me? Okay, let's get started. This first choice might be a tenuous one, but I loved Emma Chamberlain's look. Her set was super glamorous and glitzy, but I was actually most drawn to the makeup look. The dark eye with the pop of neon green was just super retro and cool. To get down to it, the sketch is really an exercise in portraiture. Now, I am by no means a pro portrait artist, but I do know that to really nail a likeness of someone, you have to first get a handle on their proportions. You'll see that I'm reshaping the angles of facial features and their size in relation to each other to try and nail down a convincing groundwork. So there's a lot of trial and error here, a lot of erasing, but it's a really awesome way to learn. I also worked on adding contrast and depth to the focal points of the image. So for example, the eyes and the earring, the places where I want people to look, while I kept other areas a little more gestural and sketchy. So the final result was still a little unfinished around the edges with some wild lines, which I like, but it feels more finished because the most important parts have that extra level of care and detail put into them. Honestly, I really like how this came out on paper, but I also wanted to make a digital version of each illustration in the series, so let's move on to Photoshop. The goal here was to keep the hand-drawn feeling, but to add some multimedia aspects like glitter and sequins to keep the fun sketchbook feel throughout the whole series. This also gave me the opportunity to add that pop of green eyeliner, which was chef's kiss, so good. Hats off to Emma's makeup artist, seriously. And there we go, looking good. Emma Chamby is done. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this second sketch features my absolute favorite look of the night. Lorde came out here looking like an ethereal and potentially unhinged queen from an A24 film. She also committed to the bit, her posture regal, her hand carved from marble showing off that flirty little beaded bag. This is also where I got the inspo for adding sequins and little gemstones to the entire series, because look at these bad boys. So fun. I want to casually bedazzle everything I own now. Anyways, let's talk about the actual sketch. For Lorde, I took a step away from the more realistic portraiture and went down the path of character design. It really felt like she was playing a character that night, so I wanted to exaggerate and slightly maybe cartoonify some of her features. This gave me the chance to also exaggerate her outfit. In the world of visual development, every part of the character design serves the purpose of telling you something about the story and the world that they live in. So I wanted this Lorde character to feel willowy and ethereal, like she walked straight out of the Green Knight. So I focused on keeping edges smooth and organic while adding some sharpness to denote that this lady is regal as frick. With the sketch finished, I wanted to also give the digital version that truly tactile feel, so I took it into Adobe Fresco and used some awesome rake brushes to add some texture. Now it's on to Photoshop for the finishing touches, aka gemstones, beads, and sequins. A lot of sequins. And there we go. Texture, check. A withering gaze of a queen, check. That hand, definite check. On to our third sketch. This one's actually kind of an added bonus. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I ended up doing a really quick watercolor sketch of Eva Chen's Technicolor gown. I thought it was the perfect chance to experiment with some big swaths of color, and experiment I did. This wasn't the cleanest sketch, but it was really fun to make, and I actually made it first. So it was a great way to warm up for the more dialed-in details of Lorde and Emma. Since the sketch in watercolor is on the rough side, I spent more time in Photoshop cleaning things up and adjusting tones. And voila, a rainbow bright fever dream. I love the paper texture within the watercolors. It is so good. And there we have it, 3 different looks created 3 different ways. Now let's spill a little tea in the comments. I'd love to hear your Met Gala hot takes. Who do you think played it too safe? Who do you think maybe went off the rails? Leave me a comment down below, subscribe if you'd like to see what comes next, and I will see you next time for more thrifty fashion and artsy fartsy goodness. Ciao, babes.